so long it's like alchemy.
Better late than never. But hey, your boy Alchemy is refining the process. Expect my quality and content to continue to grow. Now let's put this to sleep. Look at Bill Walton's shoulders. Bill Walton is 6'11". Kevin Durant is 7 foot. Now Draymond's a known gambler. We saw him collect on Nick Young. Now watch him get collected on.
Process. Oh, dude.
You probably gonna be double.
I got you right now.
I'll get that real quick.
I owe you for football too, huh?
Yeah, damn. But that 30
Wait,
point.
did we beat y'all in football?
No.
You sure?
No, y'all, and that 30-point.
We beat Michigan.
And that 30-point blowout is a little extra too, my man. Thank you, my good man. Hey, be safe. Always a pleasure. Big 10 for life. Keep it classy.
For sure.
Love.
Why Evan Turner sound like he got a nasty loogie in his throat? Anyway, let's get into this game, y'all. Final game before the All-Star break in Portland. Damian Lillard, the All-Star, and don't front, he wants to be a Warrior so bad. Maybe he'll finish his career, but tonight, the boy, well, he had the juice like he OJ. Now watch Dame dash like he OJ. That's a triple, don't ask me how. Damian Lillard, 18 points in the first quarter, and Blazers all over Golden State. How do you stop the Splash Brothers? Length and physicality. And Portland executed the game plan. You see the struggles from both Steph and Klay early in this game as Portland punched them in the mouth. With physicality and size on the offensive glass, had them up big early. Steve Kerr, let's not get it twisted. Ain't nobody mad at Steve for what he did against the Suns. All I'm saying is the Suns better damn right feel disrespected. Otherwise, they don't have enough pride to be in the NBA. Point blank, period. Back to this game. Not only do you have to deal with Damian Lillard, it's CJ McCollum. In the matchups off these pick and rolls, the Warriors bigs they were not switching, and it was giving them fits trying to fight over the screens, but KD flat out was in God mode. He had 13 points in a 2.5-minute stretch here in the third quarter, 2 4-point plays, and he carried the load offensively and kept Golden State within striking distance. Here's Steph midway through the fourth, ties the game at 99. Kerr elected to go small the entire second half of the game, and Portland made him pay. Nurkic was all over the offensive glass, 13 rebounds, and was getting buckets at the basket. Meanwhile, no hard traps on the guards allowed the pull-up game to be in full display. Now one-on-one, and I like the challenge. I like Steph rising to the occasion and trying to guard Dame one-on-one, but when he's hot, and it was unstoppable. But KD had to answer all night. Here's the heat check pull-up transition three. Him and Dame were talking back and forth, and honestly, it brought the best out in both of them. Now Steph getting a little dose of his own medicine behind the back, step back three. McCollum, a cold 29. So where does Golden State go with one last opportunity here? They go to the man that has 50 points, right? KD corner three ball, got it. Wrong. Foot on the line. Now, Hoopers know that back heel is probably in the air. That might not be on the line, but they didn't get a look at it. Very NFL-like. Waves off the three. Portland gets the dub. All right, believe it or not, man, I think this was maybe my favorite game of the season. And, you know, when you say, how could you say that, man? We lost. But, you know, this is what the NBA is about, competition. And rewatching this game this morning, I realized, you know, that we're so used to Golden State coming out with a lackluster effort. And that really wasn't the case in this game. They weren't quite ready to match the intensity early on in this game, but let's give Portland credit. Portland really just came out and played it like it was a playoff game. Their physicality, their alertness, executing their game plan, using their size on the glass, and then Damian Lillard was just absolutely on fire to start this game. Now, Kevin Durant, early on, you could see he was extra aggressive. I had a feeling he was going to have a big offensive game. I liked it. He noticed Steph and Klay were struggling, and he started to handle the ball, and he was just more aggressive early on. Usually you see him kind of feel things out in the first quarter, but that wasn't the case tonight, and we needed him to be aggressive, right, to keep us in the game. So I think the big story of the game was to start the second half, Nick Young started. There was no Zaza Pachulia. He only played 5 minutes in the game. And I think the game plan was let's go small and force Nurkic off the floor because he was dominating us on the offensive glass with his size. Now, the problem with that was Nick Young gave us absolutely nothing. He was 0 of 3. He had a bad turnover in the center of the court leading to a breakaway. And honestly, he looked scared. He didn't look ready for the moment. I don't know how many playoff games or if any Nick Young has played in, but he wasn't ready to match the intensity of the Blazers, and he absolutely failed in the opportunity he was given. And you see moving ahead, Patrick McCaw out at least a month with the fracture in his wrist. You look to Nick Young, you say maybe this is his chance to get in shape, to find a rhythm. He was 0 of 3, and he was completely a disappearing act in his extended minutes. But they went small. Now, here's the thing with the pick and roll. You've heard your boy Alchemy all season long kind of complain about switching everything and how teams are taking advantage of that. And you remember the Dallas game a few games ago. Well, they didn't switch against Portland. Clay, who was on Dame for the most of the night, was fighting over the screens, and honestly, he was fighting over a little too high. When they were running a high pick and roll up to like 40 feet, you're looking at the emblem at the midcourt, and he's still fighting over it. That's a lot of space for our big to recover. Once Dame was hot, I felt like that at some point they should have hard trapped him. They were hedging Damian Lillard, our bigs, David West and McGee or whoever was in there was hedging him, Draymond, and all he needs is a sliver of space, right? So he was able to pull up or split that. And I think that the move at some point was to hard trap him and just take the ball out of his hands, make Nurkic or somebody else have to make a play in the center of the floor. And they didn't do that. They continued to fight, but I liked the fight, right? I think it was a healthy fight. Portland was ultra aggressive. There was some competitive trash talk, and they had KD turned up, right? But the others for Portland showed up. Dame was absolutely on fire. McCollum picked his spots. But I ultimately, at the end, going small, you could see it kind of paid the price for it there at the end. All right, here I had to readjust and get these tweets out here. But I'm gonna shout out some of the people that hit me up on Twitter and address some of the subjects here. And you're right. You see AA right there where that is the biggest problem I think moving forward. And this isn't a secret, right? It's addressing athletic and bigger bigs in pick and rolls and how their size at the rim. Nurkic did feast on us, and Kerr elected to try to get him off the court rather than like battle it. David West really kind of got bullied in this game, and that's just a credit to Portland. Aminu was very physical, and D West is not used to getting punched first, right? I think he kind of is used to being able to intimidate players, and Portland was having none of that, right? Let's see here. Let's get into another one of these. Okay, so, yeah, Steph, here's the thing. I'm not going to kill Steph Curry for this game because the effort was there. Defensively, a lot of this game has to be one of the games where there were more contested jump shots made than probably any top 3 teams in the league right now because Steph's effort was there. His offense was not, his shot wasn't dropping, but he remained aggressive. He was very engaged defensively, and I saw the effort. So it's like, that's where people get it twisted. I love Steph Curry. I'm never going to fault him for having an off night shooting. I'm going to fault him when I don't think he's playing as hard as he needs to play, and he played hard tonight. So I don't really, this was an all right effort for me from Steph. And then you see another one here, right, about the fun. This is what it becomes not fun when everybody can throw haymakers at you. When you're the champ and every night a team has all the juice, all the motivation in the world, and there's all this scrutiny, and that's where it takes some of the fun out of it. And that is the real challenge that Kerr keeps alluding to going to 4 NBA finals is all these huge haymaking swings from each team on a Tuesday and a Wednesday night and in January and February, right? It becomes exhausting, and there's an added pressure to each game, and you're absolutely right. That's why they're not having fun, okay? And so, Major, you're right. We spoiled. That's what it is, right? We're spoiled as fans. We need to have some faith and have some fun. This was a hell of a game. Like I said, this was my favorite game of the season, despite the loss. Credit Portland. I loved seeing KD go into OKC mode when we needed it, right? And we're just a little bit spoiled. But yeah, definitely out of the break, we need to see them start to tune up. Iguodala quietly had himself a nice game, particularly on the defensive rebounding and kind of pushing the ball. But we need to see them rev up. And so my final question here, yeah, this was a good loss to me because, there's no moral victories in sports or anything like that, but it's kind of like when you say you have that custom classic car in your garage, but you've been driving the hoopty around, you've been driving the bucket around, and you haven't went and turned the engine on in that custom in a while, right? When you go to turn the keys over, it might not turn over the first time. And so towards the end of this game, I think you saw the championship mentality and effort, But the engine didn't quite turn all the way over because they haven't turned it over in quite some time. So coming out of the All-Star break, they're gonna have to flip that engine over and start to get it revving up towards the playoffs. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.